Hello, everyone. I'm Ryohei Onishi, and this is Understanding the SDGs, an interpreter's take. So today, this is the 8th video. We will talk about education for sustainable development, or ESD for short. So we already talked about education and sustainability in the 5th video. So we talk more deeply about ESD today. And I also would like to share my thinking or research plan for ESD. Okay, this is the table of contents for today. First, we review what SDG 4 says. We have already talked about it before. Next, we talk about ESD, Education for Sustainable Development. Next, I talk about how ESD started. I will talk about the brief, simple history of ESD. Lastly, I will talk about my research on ESD. Okay, let's go. So this is a review. You already have heard about this. But what does SDG 4 say? Of course, it says ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So once again, this means that we cover everyone. It's inclusive and equitable, which means equal. Everyone is equal. Quality education means high quality education. And lifelong learning means even after getting old, for example, you get 40 years old, 50, 60, 70 years old, you still have learning opportunities for SDGs or sustainable development. Okay. Why? Because SDGs need to be worked upon by everyone, not only young generation, not only by advanced or developed countries, but also older generations, but also developing countries. Everyone needs to take part in this program. Okay. So what is ESD? This is the keyword or theme for today's presentation. ESD stands for Education for Sustainable Development. Okay, so this is education to achieve SDGs. Okay, and the question is, why is it education for sustainable development? Okay, we do not say education about sustainable development. It's not about, it's for sustainable development. Because there are people, scholars, or researchers that say that education for sustainable development is better than about. Because if we say education about sustainable development means that we learn about sustainable development from teachers to students. And that's the end. But it's not the end. Learning is not the end. Learning is the start of ESD. So we need to do education for sustainable development. After learning about SDGs, we need to take actions. We need to change the world. That's why ESD is education for sustainable development. Of course, there are other ideas about ESD. For example, education in sustainable development, education through sustainable development. There are many other ways to say ESD, but please understand that ESD is not only about learning, but also taking actions, changing the world. Okay, that's why I am here to give this presentation to everyone. So let's talk about the brief history of ESD. So we are very proud as Japanese people that ESD was proposed, suggested by Japan. So Japan proposed ESD at the World Summit in Johannesburg in South Africa. That was in 2002. So now it's 2023. So it's 21 years ago. And this proposal, this suggestion was adopted by the United Nations. And in 2005, the decade of ESD started. Decade means 10 years. So the decade of ESD is from 2005 to 2014, these 10 years. Okay, 10 years. That's 2005. And in 2019, so the decade of ESD ended in 2014. 5 years later, ESD for 2030 was adopted by the UN. So people did a lot of ESD programs throughout the world, many things. But ESD cannot finish in 2014, could not be finished in 2014. So SDGs need ESD even after 2014. That's why ESD for 2030, not 2014, but 2030 in the future, for the future, was adapted. We need to continue ESD for 2030. 2030 is the ending year, the last year of SDGs. So ESD needs to be continued, needs to continue for another 7 years. Yes. And the important point in this history of ESD is that it's Japan who took the initiative or who took the first action. Japan said, raised a hand and said, hey, the world, we need ESD. And the world agreed with Japan. That was the beginning of ESD. Okay, so we are very proud. This is the UNESCO conference, okay, in 2019. So let's talk about my research on ESD. I am right now studying ESD, and I have read a number of academic papers about ESD. Basically, they are written in English. So reading in English is very important. And I found that there are a lot of ESD programs, but they tend to focus on the environment. This is my finding, and of course, this is also found out, studied by other researchers. So when we talk about ESD, people say environment, environment, and environment. But ESD is not only about the environment, but also about society, about economy, about human rights, about everything, about gender, everything. So we need to expand. We need to have a broader scope of ESD. We need to think about ESD more broadly, because SDGs is not only about the environment, but also economy and society and many others. Okay. And I am now reading this book. It's titled Education for Sustainable Development in Foreign Language Learning. Foreign language learning. This is a keyword here. So I'm also interested in ESD and foreign language education. So if we teach sustainability and SDGs in the English class, what happens? I am very interested in this topic. And in the Western world, there are many, many ESD programs in the university foreign language courses. For example, they learn Spanish, they learn French, they learn Germany. They learn German. So these are foreign languages for students. They learn foreign language and sustainability. So my question is Japan doing the same or not? I want to know more about that. Okay. Here is one example. Okay. So my research on ESD is called SETFul. This is my research topic name. It's sustainability education through foreign language learning. Okay, foreign language learning. So that's SETFLL. SETFul. Yes. I think full set was better, but I cannot say full set because it does not make sense. So I say SETFul for now. And this class, this English reading class, is also part of the SETFul. So I'm doing research on my English class so that I can improve my method of English class. So that's my research I'm doing, and I hope that you enjoy this class going forward. Okay? So that's it about today's topic, ESD, and I hope you enjoy learning not only English, but also sustainability and the SDGs. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.